Alright, so for about the past week, I've been down in a place called Alamosa, right next to the Great Sand Dunes of Colorado, if you know where that is. And if you don't know what a youth trip is, it's pretty much just a bunch of people from your church go help out the community, stuff like that. Anyway, that's besides the point. Today, I have a really good story that happened while I was on that trip. Okay, so I think it was Tuesday. Me and a bunch of people, Nick was on this trip too, uh, go down to help this lady out. Help pull weeds around her house. Maybe paint a little, maybe chop up some wood. Just make her house look better to help her out, because she's old. She can't do stuff. That's how it works when you get old. No, anyway, we get there. The whole place is covered in just cat poop. It smelled rancid. All right. There was overgrown trees. Now, I'm not supposed to judge. You're supposed. We're there to help. Like, it's not supposed to look like. I don't even know what it's supposed to look like, but it's not supposed to look all grand. Anyway, it's still disgusting that it's just cat poop all over and it smelled. And she was out in our yard picking up the cat poop and putting it in a tuna can, which I thought was kind of odd, but no big deal. Maybe that's just all she had to pick it up. Anyway, so we meet the girl. Her name is what should I have it as? Mariana, like the trench, because this goes down in a deep rabbit hole. We say hi to her. We all introduce ourselves, and she's like, "Okay, guys, your work today is all gonna be in the backyard, except for two of you. I need you to rake up all the cat poop." So, the people that she chose to rake up the cat poop was actually Thick Nick, and our good friend Silas. So they're out raking, and me and the rest of the group of like 5 other people go into the backyard. And she's like, "Okay, so now you guys, your job is to take these giant cutters and chop up all this wood." So we start chopping up wood. We're helping her out as we're supposed to. And about like an hour in, she starts to help us, and all of us are like, "Oh, okay, that's nice. Like, you don't have to, but that's nice." But then she like kind of like just starts looking at us, and then our leader, who's Silas's mom, goes over, and they start talking and stuff. But right before they start talking, Mariana goes up to me and says, "You're a charmer, aren't you?" And before I can even say anything, she just goes like, "Yeah, you are." And I just thought that was funny. I don't know. And I thought it was so sweet, But then after all the other stuff that she said, I don't know if that was a compliment. So, our leader and Mariana start talking to each other. And it's a pretty small yard. And they were talking in the middle, so anywhere you go, you could hear their conversation. And they start talking about the books that she's written. And she feels very strongly about video games, and especially violent video games. And they start talking about it, and our leader, she's pretty cool. She knows that video games don't cause violence. And she's just nodding her head while Mariana is trying to tell her, "This shooting that happened, the guy actually played a little bit of Super Mario 64, and that probably led to the shooting and the murder of 4 children." It was very dark, and she is very wrong. And the whole time she's going on about how, like, all these people were becoming violent and angry because video games make them feel entitled and they can't tell the difference between, stuff like that. And she's just trying to tell all of us that video games cause violence. And at one point, she even turns to all of us kids who are working and goes, "You guys don't play video games, right?" And all of us kind of look at each other, because all of us do. And you can look at Nick and I's YouTube channels. You can tell that the video games are definitely not kid friendly some of the time, you know? And all of us are just like, nope, definitely not. And Nick just goes, yep, no, I don't. Not in this house. Because, you know, he didn't want to lie, so he just said, not in this house. I don't know. She was very strange. She didn't have, like, anything here. I'll get into that later. So, they keep talking. And we're getting towards the end of our time, right? We've been there for, like, maybe 3 hours at this point. You know, we only have, like, half an hour left. And since it's, like, a church thing, and she was religious, she asked us to pray for protection. Because she told us a story about how when she was living, like, up in New York, writing books, some gang members stole her car in the middle of the night and blew it up. And the way that she found this out is the police knocking on her door at 4 in the morning and going, hey, ma'am, do you know where your car's at right now? And sure enough, it was in the middle of a field blowing up. I don't know how true this story is, but I don't know, it sounded pretty cool. And so she asked for protection, and right before we started praying for her, she goes, yeah, I'm gonna start the prayer off. You know, I'm just super scared that I'm gonna be murdered. And that took me by surprise. I'm like, oh, you believe that you're gonna be murdered? And then she says, yeah, the gamers have already hacked me. And in my mind, I'm just like, what? Huh? How does that make any sense? I'm pretty sure she wasn't being hacked. I am 99.999 quadrillion % sure that it's just because she didn't know how to work anything. She literally had this hot tub that we were scrubbing out, you know, cleaning. And she was telling us how the hot tub, she thought it didn't work, but it actually did work. And she just had all the wrong pieces and didn't know how to set it up. So I doubt that she would be able to know how to use a smartphone anyway. So we pray for her. Our leader starts up the prayer. It's very nice. We pray for protection for this beautiful young lady. And then, you know, Mariana, she started crying, bless her soul. She was sobbing because of, I don't know, because of how sweet it was. I don't know. I thought that was very nice. And then Nick and our friend Silas, so we all took turns praying, you know, like in a circle. And Silas says, I hope that you will show everybody the truth, Lord. And after our prayer, he just goes up to me and Nick and goes, yeah, when I said I hope that everyone learns the truth, I was talking about Mariana. And I thought that was the funniest thing, right? So after we get done praying for her, she's like, do you guys want to hear about my dream? The Indians called it the big dream. And all of us are like, okay, because she is very interesting. And this is, no joke, probably the strangest thing any stranger has ever told me. Because we had just met her a couple hours earlier, and she decided to share the story with us. And the story goes, so I fall asleep, and in my dream I'm on a cliff. And then the devil pushes me off the cliff, and as I'm falling down, I realize that there's no hope, that there's no way I can survive. And at the bottom of the cliff, waiting for me, is the devil with his mouth wide open, just ready to swallow me. So as I'm going down, I asked Lord to forgive all my sins, and then the devil eats me. I don't feel a thing, and then a couple seconds later, I get shot out his booty hole. She did not use booty hole, but I can't say it because this is a kid-friendly video. She used some different language, which is kind of strange because it was a church group, but anyway. She gets shot out the booty hole and just looks at the devil, and the devil's in awe, and she's just standing there like, yeah, I just went through your butt. And then all of us were like looking at each other, like trying not to laugh because she was like being so serious about it. And she was so adamant that she was gonna be murdered. It was kind of sad. And she was like, thank you so much for praying for me. I just truly feel protected. And I just thank you guys so much. And I didn't really say anything to her after that, because I knew, like, her heart was in the right place, just her mind wasn't really there. But she was very sweet. I'm not trying to make fun of her, I'm just telling the story. And then we all leave, and we go back to the church that we were staying at. And at the church, we meet up with some other people who were, like, doing other work at other people's houses. And we start talking to the group who was at Mariana's house the day before. And they all start telling us about, the stories that she told them. About how, like, at one point she asked God, like, how do I know that you answer my prayers? And then she opened a Bible, and it was like Psalm something or other, her favorite story in the Bible. And then she just starts rolling around in the dirt in ecstasy, was her words. And then I have this other friend, his name is Eli, and after his group was done working at her house, they go back into the car, and he's on his phone. And apparently Mariana walked up to the car, saw that he was on his phone, and goes, "You know those things are addicting, right?" And all of them just like, "Yep." And then they drive away. And that was the story of Mariana. Now, I still haven't found her book. I really want to buy it just to read it, just to, like, I don't know. I wonder if she got it, like, published, or if it, like, actually sold anything. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention was that, the cat poop that was all over the yard? Yeah, it's from 9 cats. She owns 9 cats. Apparently, she didn't buy any of them. They all just came to her, and now they're her cats. She is a cat lady, and she has 9 cats, and she told us that she can talk to the cats. I wanna talk to her again, and I just want to hear all the other stories that she wants to say. And I also kind of want to tell her that I play video games, just to see what she would have done. Because she was going bonkers about how, video games cause violence, they are horrible, they cause shootings. And then at one point she even said, if you play video games, you lack compassion. No, I feel like, I may not be the best person, but I feel like I have a little bit of compassion, at least a little bit. And I don't have, the urge after every time I play Call of Duty to go to my nearest elementary school and shoot the place up. I don't get that urge. I don't know what she was on about. She was just the most interesting person ever. Oh, I love her. Bless her soul. She was so nice. She gave me a cookie. She literally gave me a cookie after we told her that we didn't play video games, which, I'm sorry, Mariana, if you ever see this. It's a lie.